What is up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. Today, the figure we're looking at is the Zeta Toys Ford. So this is a figure that was originally released as the Toy World Grant, I want to say. And it has since been re-released and repainted as Zeta Toys Ford after Zeta Toys split with their parent company and all that stuff went down. But yeah, so Toy World made their Hardhead figure, and they made their Brainstorm figure, and then they made this guy. And it's actually kind of interesting because, I mean, Hardhead and Brainstorm are okay. I think Hardhead was better than Brainstorm if you ask me, but that's just me. But this one was interesting in that it's like, I don't have them side by side. I think that most of the sculpt details are the same as the G1 Fort Max. And certainly the silhouette is just spot on. It really just kind of looks like somebody took a G1 Fort Max, shrunk it down, and gave him, decent articulation, because nothing from the 80s has decent articulation, which probably explains me to a large degree. Anyhow, and so, yeah, it's very, very G1 reminiscent, and that's to its favor, I think. I think that really does it well, because it's really nice and posable, which is something that, like, nothing that came out of G1 actually did. And so this is very pleasant in many respects. Full disclosure, I never had a G1 Fort Max. I've never even handled a G1 Fort Max, though I have one friend who owns one, and I think I used to know somebody who had one, but not while I knew him. I don't know. But anyhow, let's take a look at his accessories. In terms of accessories, he comes with one accessory, this gun here, which is painted or sculpted very nice. Of course, it is painted, and everything on this figure is painted except for, like the joints, the functional parts. Like, everything on it is painted, which, I mean, is cool, I guess. But, like, on the other hand, there's just so much, just like paint scratching all over this figure, because as far as I remember, as far as I know, the original was not painted, and I don't think that this was designed to be painted, and I think that the painting has changed a lot of the tolerances. There are some panels on here that are just stupid tight, and I don't think that they're supposed to be. And from video reviews I've seen of the old Toy World Grant figure, people didn't seem to be having as much trouble with them as I have with these panels. So, yeah, I think that the excess paint kind of fucked things up. But anyhow, sculpted, painted, the paint is beautiful. There is quite an issue of flash. Come on, focus. Focus. Yeah, there's quite an issue of flash on this figure. You get flash in here, and flash shows up in there. Here's a good spot right there. Big old chunk of flash right through that hole there, and just stuff like that. There's a fair amount of like sprue marks, like this little nub right here. Like, if you look at that nub, like that wasn't cut off of the sprue. Somebody just like straight up like pulled it off and didn't even clean up the nub. So, but anyhow, I mean, it is just a cash grab. So I picked it up because it was about $100 on eBay, and I kind of wanted what I personally am treating as a Legends class Fort Max. So he holds his gun and holds it quite well. And that's it. In terms of action features, of course, he's got all these little guns that pop out. He's got guns on his forearms. He's got... Let me get this bastard out. Of course, I'm trying to be careful with this because every single square inch of this... Oh yeah, look at that big old piece of flash on that. That's lovely. Flash on that. Come on. Yeah. Guns that come out of his torso. Guns that come out of his legs. If you use a spudger on this guy, you should probably use a plastic spudger, but the only thing I have close to a plastic spudger is this little Lego brick separator, and it's seen better days. So he's got action features. He's got opening stuff here. You can take a tiny little figure. Here's my New Age Frenzy and trap him in there. If you open up this panel on his chest, jeez, that's tight. He's got like his little tech spec thing in there with a mispainted red one. I think that red one is supposed to be all the way full, but it's not. That's actually the only misapplied paint app on this whole thing. Most of the paint is actually really good, really vibrant, and really crisp in terms of, you know, where it's supposed to be versus not being where it's not supposed to be. But yeah, he's very nice. Let's get some articulation on him. His head is on a swivel. It will rotate that far and that far, and that's it. Just that much. His arms, as I showed, will move up and around, and I'm going to move these guns out of the way. His arm will go all the way around. This panel here moves up and down. It's also on a peg, so it can come just straight off if you really want it to, and you can peg it somewhere else, but it's not really supposed to peg anywhere else, just here. His arm goes out, and it's freakishly tight. It goes out that much and no further. Oh, jeez. Double joint on the elbow. This one joint is this one joint. This one joint is nice and smooth, whereas this one is nicely ratcheted. He's got a waist joint. Legs will go that far forward. That's quite a bit, actually. Come on. That far back. Will go out if you hold this piece down, because this little flap likes to come up. But if you hold that down as you bring it out, he'll go out for, like, that's like 110% of the Van Damme at least. He's got a thigh swivel, single jointed knee for about 90 degrees of bend. That's fine. Ankle joint tilts just as much as you need, and tilts forward also for transformation. So yeah, he's actually a decently poseable, like, action pose oriented big Fort Max guy. And like I said, I got him because I wanted him to be like a Legends scale figure. So let's look at him with some of the Legends figures. Here he is with Optimus Prime. Here he is with Bumblebee. And no, it is not an actual Legend scale by any stretch of the imagination. To be perfectly honest, I think that in terms of play value, the G1 Fort Max was more Legend scale than this guy. Maybe? I don't know. I think that when the head comes and transforms into the robot mode, it should be about the same head height as Optimus Prime, which makes the Unique Toys Cerberus fairly accurate in terms of size, which I guess that's a little smaller than the G1 head. But yeah, so it would need to be bigger from a toy perspective. I've seen resources that say that this guy is like 4 kilometers tall or some crap like that. There's no way a machine that tall actually moves, by the way. But so yeah, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I don't know. But that's where he stands with those figures. And in terms of transformation, let's look at his head real quick. Let me straighten his neck out, because once I pull his head out, that neck is not coming straight by itself. So here we are. This is his head. Let's zoom in on it. And he's, you know, a face in front and janky in the back, just like, you know, headmasters always have been. He's got, I just noticed this just now, but he's got like what looks like some sort of a super glue buildup on that. I wonder if that's like if they did that, because that's not molded on, that's just somebody did that. I wonder if they did that so that the head got, so this tab got held onto more strongly, which seems like such a kludge thing to do. To transform it out, you just bring his legs down, split them, rotate them at the knee, and that's it. You can move his arms around, and you can turn them at the elbows if you want. He's got no head articulation whatsoever. His arms are on ball joints, so they'll go out and up, and they'll move forward a bit. And that's it. Elbows are also ball joints. Oh, jeez, let's stay focused. Elbows are also ball joints. They'll go like so, and they'll rotate like so. No waist joint either, but his hips are ball joints. They'll go that far forward and nothing backwards and go all the way out. And the knees are ball joints. It's just all about ball joints on this guy. You can rotate his knees as we did for the transformation. You can bend it just over 90 degrees that way and a little bit that way if you really need to. So he's not going to be winning any articulation prizes, but you know, he is what he is. Also, his eyes, which looked just like dark and black in this mode, are apparently light piped, but like not like a real light piping. They're in like a stupid light piping, where his legs actually cover up this little gem part of his body in head mode, so there's no way that you can get anything through to it. But when you transform him like this, come on, you can actually get a little bit of light shining through it. I don't know. Light piping is dumb. Oh, that was the sound of people unsubscribing from my channel. Alright, let's go back out. Let's put this guy off to the side. Whoop, yeah, that's side enough for me. So real quickly, let's get this guy transformed up into his attack mode. He turns into like some sort of like a weird spaceship thing. And I don't quite get it, but, you know, it was the 80s, and everybody was coming down from the 70s, and we all know what that was like. So, yeah, we're going to pull this little hatch out from the back. We are going to rotate the legs around, the arms. You know, they're like legs, but they're, you know, on your shoulders instead of your hips. And just for chuckles and grins, I am going to fold away his fists like so. And once you do that, you can kind of straighten out his arm. And there's a little slot here and a tab here. And that tab will go into that slot-ish. And it ain't the best fit. And it always wants to pull this little hatch open. But, you know, it's better than nothing, I suppose. We'll do the same for the other side. Because why not? These little modules here disconnect. There's a peg here and a hole there. And then they'll rotate around. And then this same peg will go into that other hole, like so. And we'll do the same for the other side. And then this is going to come out and around, and then these will join up on the other side. These little tabs here that we mentioned earlier, they're going to flip up, and this tab is going to fit into that slot right there. Do that for both sides. And then this is going to fold down like so. And I guess we'll raise up his guns a little bit. And put this gun out. Sure. And now he's a battleship. Yeah, that's totally what that is. That's a battleship, guys. Yes. We'll stick this battleship down on the ground here. We'll have this dude, bring him up, put his arms down to the sides, bend his legs, open up this, and shove him in there where he belongs. Shove in there. Yes. Battleship. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's I mean, to be fair, the city mode doesn't really look like a city either, but I mean, this is kind of absurd. But hey, how about that city mode? So what we're going to do for that is we're going to then disconnect these tabs away from those. We're going to rotate the leg around, bring it up, and then pull this panel. This panel on the inside of the leg is going to come out and around, and it's going to tab in on the back. And then we're going to fold this sideways until it just kind of sits up flush in there. And we're going to do the same for this other one. So pull this panel out, bring it around, close it up, rotate this leg about, fold this in on itself, and raise that up. And there we go. 2 legs all done. The arms are, well, mostly in their right position. What we're going to do with these arms is these modules here are going to rotate like so. And we're going to rotate them all the way around till they kind of, there's like a major detent that kind of click into place. I don't know that this was a thing that the original G1 Fort Max did. But those get rotated about. This ramp, this ramp comes out, and this ramp comes down, and this ramp comes down. And we can take this gun here and bring it around, and actually we'll bring it up like this, and then it will kind of slide forward ever so slightly. We can have a gun there, and we can angle these up a little bit because I don't know what other purpose they serve than to be angled up. And you can take his gun, which I put somewhere, I swear I did. Have I lost his gun in the 5 seconds since I last held it? Good Lord, my life is an actual like sincere disaster. But yeah, you can stick the gun. There's a port right here on the side. Where the F is my gun? I have no freaking clue. Here's an Astrotrain gun. Oh, that's not even the same peg size. I don't even know. Oh, but yeah, so here's a couple Legend Scale New Age figures to go with it. There's some Cliff Jumper and there's Braun, and you can go like this. Whee! And, you know, I mean, it's this mode is not going to scale with your Legend Scale figures. It's not going to scale with anything. This is very much a figure, especially in this mode. This is very much a figure for people who, you know, had or wanted a Fort Max when they were young and didn't ever get their hands on one. So they're like, well, this other company made one for like a hell of a lot cheaper, so I'm going to get one of those. So, oh yeah. Let's pull this stuff out. He's got an opening panel in his leg with like little stairs that come up it. And he's got a panel over here that opens up. And I think that there's supposed to be like an elevator in one of these. I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about in the G1 toy. I think there's supposed to be an elevator in one of those. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Definitely more for the robot mode than the... oh, here it is. It was literally sitting right in front of me the whole damn time. It's definitely more for the robot mode than the base mode in terms of like putting it with your figures. But like the base mode is fun. And I mean, the base mode is not any dumber than... I've got that Mech Fans Toys Huge Dragon. His base mode doesn't fit with any of my Legend Scale figures, but I definitely consider him to be a Legend Scale Omega Supreme. So, I mean, how is this guy any different, really? So, I like it. I think it was a good purchase. It's good for my collection, for sure. But anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody, stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya. Have a good one. Bye.